I've seen a lot of the videos, and it seems like a lot of people are just yelling, and they're mad. They don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed. I've been to the trade schools here in Tampa. I don't see how we fill these positions. It's going to cause construction to collapse here. It worries me. I've got a solution. Get them legal status. Somehow, under a work visa, background check them. Do whatever you need to do to make sure they're not criminals, but let's get them legalized in a rushed form or fashion. That's what needs to happen. President Donald Trump, the solution, not the problem. We all know what the problem is. The solution is to not deport them.
Well, honey, you may need to update your voter registration because that is exactly what liberals have been fighting for like the last 40 years. Obama literally tried to do this with DACA, and Trump has done nothing but try to reverse it. In fact, this is his entire platform that he ran on.
Getting them out will be a bloody story. It had never been allowed to come into our country. If you come back, you will be executed. You will be killed immediately.
There was a bill to help with the border crisis, and it was a bipartisan effort. That means both sides came to the table. In fact, it was written by a Republican, and Trump said, vote it down, because we need a platform to run on, because this is a wedge issue, and fixing it removes a useful political scapegoat. But the real reason that people who have lived in the U.S. for 20 plus years, have raised all of their children here, and still aren't legal citizens of here is because they pay into a system that they can't cash out on. It's like free labor without taxation, because they pay into a system. Taxes are collected, and yes, they are. You can go verify this. They don't get to claim those taxes back, and they don't get to make use of the welfare systems that we have because they're not legal. They do not have social security numbers. Not only that, employers get cheap labor, which I can assume is your problem and how you're personally affected and why you suddenly care about this. Not only that, corporations prefer undocumented, therefore vulnerable employees. They're easy to exploit. So in short, the system all around profits off their vulnerability. So when you say this isn't what you voted for, that is incorrect. This is exactly what you voted for. You just didn't know that's what you were voting for.
I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran. But I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not, the guy out there working in the trenches trying to make ends meet, trying to pay a mortgage, trying to pay the bills. It goes against everything I expected when, I voted for him.
So you're not satisfied with what you said?
No. And it doesn't even have to do with anything about me getting fired. I mean, if I had gotten fired as part of the, government, cutting government spending, I would have been fine with that. I can accept that. But he's not delivering on anything he said he was going to do. So what's your real game plan? It doesn't make sense to me.
There are some things that he promised to do that he has put in place. I mean, there are executive orders that he's done, that he said that he was going to do. You don't feel like he's lived up to those promises?
I mean, where are the results? I mean, seriously, prices are still going up. We're now in the middle of a tariff war with a bunch of countries that used to be our steadfast allies. I mean, how do you make an enemy of Canada? They're right next to us, and they've been one of our premier allies and commerce partners for, I mean, seriously, like what, centuries now?
And he did say that he was going to put tariffs in place. Did you just not think that they would be implemented in this particular way?
I didn't think they were going to be put in play in a juvenile way. I mean, where was the attempt to actually talk to the heads of these other countries like, hey, I feel you have unfair tariffs against our products. I'd like to talk about it first, and if we can't work out some kind of resolution, then I feel to protect our people, we need to implement this kind of tariff. There was no attempt at even talking to the other countries.
Thought of the day, fuck Joe Biden. And if you voted for him and don't regret it, fuck you too. Today's the day that I turned my truck in. I between the shops and the insurance and everything else that goes with it, the payments, I went broke. Put it mildly, I just went broke. I turned my truck in. Love my truck. I tried my best. Luckily, I work for a guy who's good enough to put me in a company truck. But it doesn't change the fact that I fucking failed. Run my ass off a bit, stay out 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks at a time, sometimes more. Not only spend every penny I have, I went in debt. I owe this good man a lot of money. A lot of money. He's good enough to try. He's going to work with me. See if I can't get it paid back. Doesn't help the fact that I fucking failed. For all the truckers out there, I'll be out there with you. I'm trying to work it off. God bless you. Throw a peace sign up when you pass somebody. We all need it. I don't know what else to say. I don't deal with failure well, and I failed in a grandiose fashion, man. Crash and burn like I'd never done in my life. Stay blessed. Remember, put God first. I love you. Peace. I'm out.
I'm going to talk over this part right here. This is when all the world leaders were walking out. As they're walking out, they were applauding for the world leaders. Trump came out, and they got quiet as a church mouse. And it's funny because I know that's going to hurt his ego. But what's also funny is the world is destroying him because he wore this blue clown suit and he was supposed to wear black. And then, like I said, I know it's going to hurt his ego because Zelensky came out and the crowd went crazy like a rock star came out. Watch this.
Donald Trump has been accused of breaking the dress code at the Pope's funeral after he arrived wearing a blue suit and a blue tie. The strict dress code for the event at the Vatican dictated that men should wear a dark suit with a long black tie and white shirt, shoes, long socks, coats, and umbrellas. The president, who sat in the front row of hundreds of foreign dignitaries and royalty, donned a mid-blue outfit adorned with a pin showing the American flag. He paired it with a shiny blue tie. The president was blasted by onlookers today as they said he stuck out like a sore thumb from other leaders. One person said, "Why is Trump the only male world leader who is wearing a blue suit? Has he no sense of appropriacy? Shame on him." Another added, "How disrespectful Trump is wearing a blue suit to a funeral." While a third fumed, "Did he not have a black suit? At least a dark blue one? Where is the respect?"
How it started.
Oh my God, I done found my tribe. I have been exiled by the black community. A lot of us have been exiled by the black community. But when I say the MAGA family, the AFF family, my snow bunnies, my Hispanic bunnies, oh my God, when I say the support has been mad real, I've been totally annihilated by our own. But we have been embraced by you guys. I have found my tribe. I am currently dealing with my son facing 21 years that this particular judge has sentenced him to. It is racial injustice. I am fighting to free my son and also free the masses and stop this judge from excessively sentencing our people, Black, brown, Latino, Afro-Latino. I just need you guys to support in helping to free my son. My son is 23 years old, and he is currently facing 21 years of incarceration due to racial injustice. My son was defending himself, and unfortunately, most Black and brown people, individuals, whether you are a man or a woman, here in Colorado, do not have the right to use self-defense.
Did anybody else notice the wardrobe change? So this lady, the 7%, found her tribe. She found her tribe in MAGA. MAGA was welcoming. She had been exiled by the Black community. Couldn't imagine why. Where are they now? You did a plea for your son in a MAGA hat, and it barely got any engagement. So you changed it to blue there at the end. And it's almost as if you know the demographic of people who would understand your predicament. In those videos, you're not talking to your MAGA friends. You weren't even talking to your MAGA friends when you had the MAGA hat on. You weren't talking to them because you know they don't care about you. They never did. You know that MAGA don't care about you. That particular judge, you said that they were blue? Sure, they might be. But you know who would have fought against that blue judge on your behalf? Us. Progressives. People who want and who have been fighting for change in our legal system because of the things that your son is going through right now. I'm sorry that your son is going through that. And that's real. I am. I have a son myself. I would never want him to go through what your son is going through. But that is why I vote on the right side of history. I vote for people who won't give cops immunity for unaliving my son. That's why I won't vote for people who put money into private prisons so that they can have slave labor and mass incarceration of our people. I vote to save my son. You vote for people who would see him rot in that prison cell. It would be nice if we could normalize not othering Black and brown people. But that is what you voted for. You voted for the candidate that othered Black and brown people. Your MAGA tribe, they didn't care about you then and they don't care about you now. They needed your vote, so they accepted you in for that reason. Those same people support othering Black and brown people. Whenever they think of Black people, they think hood and ghetto. They think walk on the other side of the street because we are dangerous. That is the lie that they have perpetuated about us to get your son to be in the situation that he is in right now. Your son is not viewed as human, is not viewed as someone who deserves the right to defend himself. They want us incarcerated. You spoke in one of your videos about equality. Ma'am, they brought back segregation. Do you think they give a crap about your son? Your tribe would be okay with your son not going to their schools, not swimming in their swimming pools, not drinking out of their water fountains. That's your tribe. So I say again, you changed your wardrobe at the end there to a stark blue. Why? Because you know that MAGA, they are not your tribe. Where are they now? They don't care about your son, and they never will. To them, to your tribe, your son would be better off spending 21 years in prison.
Target's finally realizing that the boycott against them that was supposed to last 30 days and has now gone on to 8 weeks is starting to harm them, and that their DEI policies are starting to harm them. See, they've lost $12.7 billion in revenue just from store sales in those 8 weeks, and their share price has plunged more than $27 in those 8 weeks, erasing market cap that they had. This is in addition to multiple lawsuits by employees and customers against them for their anti-DEI policies and for the things that they said they were doing that they've now reversed course on. In an earnings call, they were hoping that Easter would turn it around, but now that churches are calling for people to stop consumerism and specifically calling out Target, they're only going to see things get worse. Now, we also have the People's Union, which is putting together one-day economic blackouts. There will be the next one will be on April 18th, and then another one set for July 4th. And separate from all of this, you have a bunch of powerful Black-led organizations and faith leaders that are still calling for a boycott of Target, including a Target fast. You have the NAACP, who's calling for selective buying and publishing a selective buying campaign, instructing people to be selective about where they buy, to make sure that their policies align with your beliefs. In the end, Target's going to find out that the very people who supported them are the people that they disregarded just so that they could appease Donald Trump.
Target has been struggling a lot lately, and the latest numbers are not helping anything. Target suffers 8th week of foot traffic losses since caving on DEI. Costco, which resisted demands to end DEI, extended its streak of foot traffic gains to 13 weeks. Now, Target's problems began when it suffered from boycotts from conservatives. And recently, as it's been trying to back out of politics and appease those same conservatives, it decided to roll back its DEI initiatives. But in doing so, it ended up angering liberals who are now also boycotting Target. In a March 4 earnings call, when it reported 3.1% Q4 loss and a non-specified sales decline in February, Target executives were bullish about the Easter assortment boosting its business. But if it has, so far, it's not reflected in the foot traffic data. What may have taken the spring out of the Easter bunny's hop for Target is a 40-plus day boycott coinciding with Lent, so ending on Easter, spearheaded by black clergy, for which more than 150,000 have signed up, exceeding the organizers' stated goal of 100,000 signatures. Target played the political game and lost to such a degree that everyone is angry at them and boycotting. Liberals and conservatives have never been more divided, and yet they are both agreeing that Target sucks and you should not shop there. And this has caused their stock to plummet by 41% over the last year, and coming off of their high in 2021, they're down 60%.
Like nearly 60% of Nebraska, she voted for Trump and initially was glad he won.
What happened afterwards, though, is not something I expected. I did not expect there to be such a massive, quick, rash cut to the federal government. I really expected it to be logical.
No, you expected your job to be safe while other people would be victims of job losses. You were probably like, as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. But now that it's affecting me, I need to cry to the news. Remember, in the game of chess, the pawns are expendable. And you, as a voter, were a pawn for him, and now your job got expended. That's why many of us keep saying you get what you voted for, and you got what you voted for. But comment and let me know what you think, and my name is Philip, and follow me if you like what I post. Thank you.
I mean, you had Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with a Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk. Like, who derives joy from that? And
I mean, it sounds so evil to be up on a stage and talking about how you're so overjoyed that you're going to be cutting jobs and assets from people, right? It's a horrible thing to do.
this is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Weird. He was celebrating going in and taking a chainsaw to government jobs, putting those people on the unemployment line. He thought it was great. He still thinks it's great. But don't hurt his little company. You know what else he thinks is great? Making posts like this stating that Vivian is now dead to him because Vivian is no longer the boy that he always wanted or he paid for in IVF, I guess. If you follow Vivian, you will know that anybody should be proud to have her as a daughter. But nope. He's like, we don't want that because of that woke mind virus. Well, guess what? We are sick and tired of the conservative knackerhead agenda. You hear that? That's exactly what that is. I can be woke and you could be knackered out. Don't know what I mean? Look it up. And let's be real. We all know Elon is dipping into that government pot to get the money for SpaceX. He doesn't really care about Tesla. That's not affecting him when he's going to get all of these contracts out of the deal, when he shouldn't be handling government funds anyways.
because Elon Musk has bought our government.
Tonight, more turmoil for Tesla. CEO Elon Musk live streaming an all-hands meeting Thursday, trying to reassure his employees as Tesla stock tumbles amid a Tesla takedown protest movement against the company.
If you read the news, it feels like, Armageddon. I understand if you don't want to buy our product, but you don't have to burn it down. That's a bit unreasonable, Stop being psycho.
The company that helped make Musk the wealthiest person in the world, now a target, seen by some as a way to demonstrate against Musk's politics and growing role in the Trump administration.
How are you feeling right now in this moment as a Tesla owner?
Embarrassed. I love the cars, and I really wish I could keep them, but I just can't be associated with that brand anymore.
Edward Sanchez says he's looking to sell his Tesla after also just dumping all 150 shares of his Tesla stock. And he's not alone. Data from car shopping website Edmunds reporting that this month has seen the highest ever share of Tesla owners trading in their vehicles.
Why do you think going after Tesla is the way to really get at and go at Elon Musk?
It's my only way, right? It's the only thing I have. You just want to distance yourself.
But some taking the protest even further. Nationwide and even in Canada, multiple reports of Teslas being vandalized, some lit on fire. In Syracuse, this video showing a masked person defacing Sean Freed's Tesla, writing on it, "This car supports Nazis."
Protesting is a right that we all have, but destroying other people's property is not.
President Trump today warning there will be no leniency and no pardons for those behind these attacks, suggesting it's worse than the January 6th Capitol riot.
These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th, I can tell you. You didn't have anything like that on January 6th.
And Liz, any evidence that these attacks might be coordinated?
Well, despite claims, Lester, from Elon Musk and President Trump that they are, NBC News has spoken to law enforcement officials and domestic extremism efforts experts who say that there is no evidence that they are coordinated. There are organized protest efforts, but those groups have disavowed vandalism and violence, Lester.
Okay, Liz, thank you.
What? You got something to say? Fuck you.
JD Vance. We're on our way and looking forward to it. This was 5 hours ago. JD Vance's trip to Greenland is a strong, smart move. 5 hours ago. Watch this. 1 hour ago, Usha and I are on our way home from an incredible 4-hour journey to Greenland. We can't wait to come back again soon. America's stance with Greenland. 4 hours. They did not welcome you, Mr. Vance. They did not want you there.
The United States is the laughingstock of the world. After watching this news conference where this man, JD Vance, went all the way to Greenland, all the way across the mainland of the United States to land on an Air Force base. He wants to call it a space base, an Air Force base in Greenland, because the people who live there in Greenland can't stand their guts. They didn't want to actually meet them. He goes there and he actually says what he says on the bottom there, that these people in Greenland want to be independent from Denmark, and then from there they want to choose to be part of the United States. It's like they're living in a dream where they actually don't understand that nobody wants to be a part of the United States. These people want their own land, their own culture, their own language, and there's nobody else who's attacking Greenland. They're like, oh yeah, we have to worry about China and Russia. Have you seen what the people in Greenland look like? They're the same ethnic background of the people who live in Russia and China. They're Inuit people. I just don't understand why they're doing this. It's clear that the United States, once again, wants to steal resources from another country, just like they wanted to do with Ukraine, where they were doing the deal between Russia and Ukraine, and Donald Trump tried to tell Volodymyr Zelensky that he wanted a part of the resources from Ukraine. Like, they're literally doing that. They want to expand their area in Greenland so that they can steal resources from Greenland, and they're like, we want to buy some icebreakers and install that on our property here. And it was just like ridiculous. Go back and watch this news conference. I've just never seen something. I've never been so disgusted at a group of people, not at like actual Americans, but at these Americans. And just those soldiers who are there like props behind him as he says this. And it's just like, you are so embarrassing in the world that you don't dare to go out to the actual people there. And it's so disgusting that they're having this news conference without any people from Greenland there, in Greenland, on their land, to think that they're having this news conference right there in Greenland, because they know that if they had this in public in front of people from Greenland, they would chase them out of that country. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely disgusting, and maybe they don't realize it yet, or they just don't care, but everybody else in the world is disgusted by this. Ugh.
The billionaires who lined up for Donald Trump's inauguration have since lost $209 billion. Between Trump's election and his inauguration, the S&P 500 index hit several all-time highs, seeing the world's wealthiest riding high on that wave. But mass federal layoffs and a to and fro on tariffs have upended expectations that the start of Trump's presidency would continue fueling market returns. That turbulence has seen the S&P 500 lose 6.4% in Trump's first 7 weeks. That's been bad news for the companies behind the inauguration attendees' fortunes, which have been some of the biggest losers. Between January the 17th, the last trading day before the inauguration, and the 10th of March, they've dropped a combined $1.39 trillion in market value.
Do you remember Donald Trump's big campaign promise?
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately.
Well, here's the thing. He's been in office for 50 days, and not only has he not made things cheaper, he's actually made them more expensive.
The Dow is down more than 2%, around 900 points today, after Trump, in an interview on Fox News, refused to rule out a recession.
Tariffs are wildly inflationary. They are a tax on the consumer. Donald Trump has enacted a trade war with countries like Canada, Mexico, and China. There is no reason for any of this to happen. This is wildly inflationary. It will not lower prices. 9 out of 10 voters said that they were voting on the economy, right? They wanted things to be cheaper. They were mad about inflation. Fast forward 50 days, things are getting more expensive because of tariffs, because of the trade war. We import lots of things from Mexico, Canada, China, including food. And now things will get even more expensive. It is exactly the opposite of what he promised. Trade wars are bad and easy to lose. Donald Trump should end this trade war today.
I am announcing that the government of Canada, following a dollar-for-dollar approach, will be imposing, as of 12:01 a.m. tomorrow, March 13th, 2025, 25% reciprocal tariffs on an additional $29.8 billion of imports from the United States. This includes steel products worth $12.6 billion and aluminum products worth $3 billion, as well as additional imported U.S. goods worth $14.2 billion for a total of $29.8 billion. The list of additional products affected by counter tariffs includes computers, sports equipment, and cast iron products as examples. These tariffs are in addition to Canada's 25% counter tariffs on $30 billion of imports from the United States in response to U.S. tariffs put in place on March 4th.
Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
Which one did you buy?
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. President. Which one did you buy?
Which car are you going to buy? The one I like is that one.
And how does this work?
And I want that same color.
Are you going to put down a credit card? Elon, would you take a personal check from the president?
I do it the old I give checks. Sure. I like checks.
I think his credit's good.
Do you still have access?
I like a check better than this modern system of all of a sudden there's money in your account, nobody knows. I like signing a check. You sort of, but we're gonna, and I don't want a discount. He would give me a discount. But if I do a discount, they're going to say, "Oh, I got benefits." I don't want any discount.
What about a vanity plate?
Yeah, let's see. Truth.
All right, there it is.
TRUTH.
Download his playlist.
That one got you, buddy.
All right.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
Republican Congressman Mark Alford faced constituents frustrated over President Donald Trump's efforts to slash government spending at a tense town hall in Belton, Missouri.
Government employees are going to be let go, and that's just the reality of it. And I feel bad that people have been laid off. I truly do.
Federal layoffs spearheaded by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has sparked outrage around the country.
See, in others, it's 100.
Alford said even his wife was among the growing number of workers that were laid off from the Federal Reserve.
Government is not immune to layoffs.
Around 150 people showed up to the town hall, tripling the venue's 50-person limit and spilling into the street, according to CNN affiliate KMBC.
It's a little frustrating not to be able to hear what he's got to say and his ideas, and be able to say, hey, this is something that you may need to look at one way or another.
For Vice President J.D. Vance and his family, following yesterday's fiasco there in the Oval Office with Ukrainian President Zelensky. There's some new video now we have showing the Vice President being greeted by protesters holding anti-Vance, pro-Ukraine signs as he makes his way there to Vermont for a ski resort vacation. More protesters met the Vance family outside of the resort, and the family ultimately had to move to an undisclosed location.
Not around here, partner. Not around here.
Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest, why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something
like yours, yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better, I don't know.
Yeah.
We will see. Maybe something cheaper than, yeah.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed. I think he's dressed.
I like this guy. I don't know.
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more. I have more serious things than answer on such questions. I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah.
We come in the air hours after an Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come. What was meant to be a photo op with our ally, Ukraine's president, part of a visit in which President Zelensky was to sign a deal over his country's minerals and in return secure security support for Ukraine. It revealed instead of Donald Trump and a J.D. Vance clearly on an errand for Vladimir Putin. Trump and Vance berating Zelensky in public for the entire world to see after Zelensky pointed out the facts of how the war in Ukraine started. The message sent to our allies and our adversaries by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance is now loud and clear, unmistakable. The pro-Putin stance of America's president and vice president, undeniable, unequivocal, completely out of step, not just with the American public. Just 9% of all Americans think Vladimir Putin is to be trusted according to one recent poll, but also out of step, at least before today, with the Republican Party and his own cabinet.
So Elon Musk and Doge have just deleted the 5 biggest spending cuts they celebrated last week off their website after it was proven to be false information. The New York Times reports that the last of the original top 5 disappeared from the site in the early hours of Tuesday, even as Doge claimed in its latest update that its savings to date had increased to $65 billion, just another fake number. The deleted savings claims included that $8 billion to ICE, which turned out to just be $8 million, a USAID cut, which was included 3 separate times, a $232 million cut at the Social Security Administration, which ended up actually just being $560,000, and others. More errors have also been discovered, like Doge claiming they did a $1.9 billion cut at the Treasury Department, which was actually related to a contract that was canceled last fall during the Biden administration.
A setback for Doge. 21 employees now resigning, saying they refuse to help Elon Musk's efforts to slash the federal government.
Well, Chris, that letter was signed by, as you said, 21 federal workers, civil servants who worked in the Doge office, both in the previous version, the one that launched under President Obama, and the current version that was renamed by President Trump. That letter you see on your screen here, addressed to Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, by these employees who said that they were tendering their resignation today. A couple of lines I think worth pulling out here for you to highlight their concerns in giving this resignation. They said Doge's actions, firing technical experts, mishandling sensitive data, and breaking critical systems contradict their stated mission of modernizing federal technology and software to maximize government efficiency and productivity. One other part of this letter that I, again, think is worth drawing attention to, where it says, "We will not use our skills as technologists to compromise core government systems, jeopardize Americans' sensitive data, or dismantle critical public services. We will not lend our expertise to carry out or legitimize Doge's actions." They're really expressing some of the concerns that we've heard from others who filed lawsuit against some of the actions that Doge has been taking in the different agencies around the federal government, where some of those employees have been active over the last month since President Trump took office here.
Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you, and not listening.
Hey, let's restore some order. Let's restore some order. Hey, let's restore some order.
So
Stop
yelling at me is not going to get any answer, okay? I don't think executive privilege should be as strong as it is. I think we're out of balance right now. I think your direct representation, whether you like me or not, I'm the closest thing you have to a representative. Your senator's not going to be as representative as me. And the president's not going to be as representative as me when it comes to you, the people in this district. Likewise, I think state government needs to be more powerful than federal government. It used to be that federal funds only made up 1/3 of the money spent, and states was 2/3. It's more representative of your money and your money spent. That's better. Always push government down to the local level because you'll get better representation. I don't want to see the president make all the decisions. I don't. I didn't want to see. Do you not want to hear that I just said? I answered it directly. I said, I don't want to see any president be too powerful.
Shonda Rhimes has resigned from the Kennedy Center board after Trump was elected chair. Here's what we know. On February 12th, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts made President Donald Trump its chairman. The announcement came just after Trump fired a number of board members appointed by Biden, then appointed a new board composed of his own selections. Trump announced his intention to take over the Kennedy Center on February 7th in a post on Truth Social, writing, "Just last year, the Kennedy Center featured drag shows specifically targeting our youth. This will stop." He then added, "We will soon announce a new board with an amazing chairman, Donald J. Trump." For his first move as chair, Trump fired longtime Kennedy Center president Deborah F. Rutter and appointed Richard Grenell, a Trump loyalist who served as an ambassador to Germany during Trump's first term as interim president. Just after Trump was elected chair, high-profile television writer Shonda Rhimes, appointed to the board of trustees by former President Barack Obama, resigned from her position as Kennedy Center treasurer. Rhimes announced her departure in an Instagram post, making her motivations clear with a screenshot of an article stating that Trump had appointed himself as chairman. Additionally, Emmy-nominated singer and songwriter Ben Folds stated that he is resigning as artistic advisor to the NSO. "Not for me," Folds said on social media about the new Kennedy Center administration. On February 10th, Trump told reporters about his plans for the Kennedy Center. "I'm going to be chairman of it, and we're going to make sure that it's good and it's not going to be woke. There's no more woke in this country," Trump stated. He then said, "Woke has cost us a fortune and cost us our reputation, but the reputation is coming back very, very rapidly." Do you think Trump is a good choice for Kennedy Center chair? Let us know in the comments.
Y'all, it's already started. Like, definitely F around and find out season is in effect. So right now, like, I live in Kansas City, Missouri. So right now I was just reading this news article about how this woman who has completed her nursing training, how she can't get licensed in the state of Missouri because she's a DACA recipient. So if you don't know what DACA is, like, you know, that's a temporary status to allow undocumented people to stay in the United States. Well, the thing is, even though there's a federal law that allows DACA recipients to receive, you know, licensure in like the states, Missouri is saying, I don't care. You're not a citizen. You don't possess a green card. We're not going to let you have a license. So literally this woman is having to, you know, go through this. But you know what the irony of this situation is that this woman, I feel like this is very interesting to see how certain people from certain communities view themselves as like better than people of a similar demographic. Like, one of the things that this woman was saying was like, I don't agree with people not being vetted under the Biden administration and people just coming in and they're all criminals and stuff like that, the traditional rhetoric, right? And I'm just like, lady, do you not understand you trying to play this game of siding with your enemy? It's not working out for you. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Biden was making sure you could work. Under this administration with the hot Cheeto man, you not gonna be able to work. You gonna have to go to a blue friendly state that will hire you. That means you gotta leave your family. Turn out she's not leaving. So you did all that work, paid all that money. I bet you those student loans are due, only for you not to get licensure. It's insane. And you know, a lot of people are going to start regretting their vote. Like, it's interesting. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how fuck around and find out season is going around in your state with people feeling the full effects of their vote. Bye.
I got a fuck around and find out story. So I'm in Walgreens and there's this guy in front of me who's all decked out in his MAGA gear. The one with the daddy's home, you know, with the fist in the air. Anyway, he's there with his MAGA hat on and his Trump shirt, and he's getting his prescriptions. So the lady behind the counter that's helping him lets him know, "Sir, I've noticed that you have TRICARE as your insurance, and I'm just letting you know you should be getting a letter in the mail that we are no longer going to be contracted through them at the end of this month." He said, "What do you mean?" We got Selfridge right down the road. What do you mean you ain't going to be contracted through no veterans insurance? And she said, "Sir, there are a whole lot of administrative changes that are going to be going on, and Walgreens, the company, is unsure of what contracts through the VA what contracts for the military are going to be revised or pulled. She says, now, I'm sure there are other pharmacies such as CVS or mail-in pharmacies such as Express Scripts that will still honor your insurance. But as far as Walgreens, we will not. And boy, did this man get so mad. He didn't understand what was going on. So she broke down to him what was happening. She's like, you know, he's talking about getting rid of VA hospitals. He's getting rid of possibly disability for veterans. Or putting a 10-year max cap on that, and it's going to be an extremely hard process to even be approved for that. So this guy, he's just like staring at her, and he goes, well, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, you know, the only thing that I live off of right now is my VA and my Social Security. And she just kind of looked at him, and I looked at him, and I said, they're going to be taking your Social Security too. And I looked down at his shirt, and I looked back up at him. I said, you know, from one veteran to another, Daddy doesn't give a fuck if you have your medicine or not. He really doesn't. He doesn't care that you served. He deferred his freaking draft 4 times because his feet hurt. I mean, what do you expect from the guy? Well, Republicans are supposed to be all about their military. I said, this is not about Republicans and Democrats, sir. There's Republicans, there's Democrats, and then there's MAGA. And I said, and unfortunately, you're all a part of the MAGA. I said, hey, you voted for him. You fucked around, and now you're gonna find out. And I kind of feel bad because his face was just so like this was the first time he ever heard this. This was the first time he was ever hearing that as a veteran, his benefits, his security is being threatened. That his Social Security is being threatened. Like, where the fuck are these people staying? Where are they at? Like, living under a rock? I don't get it. But anyway, that's my story.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Are you mad yet? Have you ever paid that phone yet? Because I know, like I know for a fact, I haven't seen many Trump shirts. I haven't seen many Trump shirts, many Trump hats. Dude, are you mad yet? You should feel real stupid right now. Like, you should feel like an idiot. Like, there's no way you could look at what's happened over the past few months and be like, yeah, we're making America great. Get out of here. We're making America a dictatorship. That's what we're doing. But I know there's people out there that are eating their vote. And they're throwing it back up. They're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why? It's called racism.
Today, I was let go from my job that I've had for 10 years because of this TikTok account. Ryan's Construction LLC, I will be seeing you in court.
Hey man, sorry to hear about the job. Oklahoma is an at-will employment state, which means that an employer can terminate an employee for any reason or even no reason at all. Seems like kind of a lousy policy, right? You want to know who voted that into law? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the Democrats. But hey, chin up. I hear they need bodies down at the produce farms. Not really sure why. Or there's always OnlyFriends.
I just want to say to every American that's having trouble with this, I am sorry I voted for him. I regret it with all my heart. I feel like I've enabled this monster to destroy democracy, destroy everything that is good in this country.
We've got a very crazy man driving the train, and he's going to kill this country.
And Anthony, are you voting a straight up and down Democratic ticket?
Not only there, I am actually for the very first time contributing across the board, across the country. And I've never, ever written a check or spent any money on anything political because I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
I've been a lifelong Republican since the day I turned 18. For the first time in my life, I'm going to vote a straight Democratic ticket. Is if they're connected to Donald Trump, they are not connected to me.
So you now are no longer a Republican?
I am not, no.
Because of Donald Trump?
Because of Donald Trump. It was no longer the party that I joined. It's morphed into something that's almost unrecognizable.
You were a lifelong Republican.
Right.
If somebody had told you, say 15 years ago, that you are preparing to vote a straight up and down Democratic ticket in the midterms, you would have said what to them?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
So why are you now doing it?
To see Republicans not stand up to him and
The ones that do are just quitting.
I just think there's no values left anymore. There should be values. We have no values. He doesn't have any values. I thought he had values.
No, I'm definitely voting Democrat. I've been knocking on doors. I got a clipboard.
You're even canvassing.
I am canvassing for a Democrat
That's
in
how
Wyoming.
strongly you feel.
I believe hardly anything the president says, but I do believe he's a danger to this country and to our democracy. I'm going to fight every day. I just want to say to every American that's having trouble with this, I am sorry I voted for him. I regret it with all my heart. I feel like I've enabled this monster to destroy democracy, destroy everything that is good in this country.
We've got a very...
Oh no! The Disney Plus cancellation page crashes as customers rush to quit after the Kimmel suspension. Darn it! I feel so bad that the Disney Plus cancellation page crashed. Great job, everyone. I don't subscribe to Disney Plus, but if you do, now is probably the best time to cancel. Disney faced a wave of cancellations after pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live, with subscribers reporting that the Disney Plus cancellation page kept crashing. There was an overwhelming public reaction across social media and beyond, with hashtags like cancel Disney Plus and cancel Hulu. They both trended as users shared screenshots of their canceled subscriptions. The page keeps crashing, with cancellation surging. Many subscribers reported technical issues on Reddit's Fox Moy subreddit. One post read, "The page to cancel your Hulu Disney Plus subscription keeps crashing." Both Hulu and Disney Plus saw spikes in cancellation as viewers protested Kimmel's suspension. This is the appropriate energy that needs to be used to counter stuff like this. Voting with your dollar is really important. And if you do subscribe to Hulu or Disney Plus, I would suggest you cancel it. I stay with Jimmy Kimmel.
Y'all get this message to Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, I heard that you got your show back. Listen, whenever you get time, you need to have me on your show, because they had me on national news. They made me the face of a boycott. And Disney Plus, yeah, we ain't easing up on you either. Just like a receding hairline, we might not be coming back, okay? This goes to show Disney, y'all not bigger than the program, okay? The last thing you want to do is piss off your consumers, okay? Disney, y'all not slick, okay? Y'all saw that money going down and y'all folded like a lawn chair. Listen, the only way that you can make these companies act like they got the sense God gave a billy goat, you gotta start spending your money with them. Anyways, Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air tomorrow night. And listen, Jimmy, if you happen to see this video, listen, have your people call my people. Listen, I ain't got no people. Call me, okay? Have me on the show. Yeah, Disney, yeah, don't think shit is sweet, okay? Because y'all still on the list. Don't get too comfortable.
Well, I'm just leaving Capitol Hill, and brace yourselves because we are headed to a government shutdown. So what exactly happened? Well, tonight, Senate Republicans forced a vote on a bill to keep the government funded. Democrats blocked that. They say they will not agree to keep the government funded until Republicans agree to reverse cuts to Medicaid and also to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies so that healthcare premiums do not go up for millions of Americans. Republicans say they're willing to talk about all that, but not while the government is shut down. So here's the bottom line. There needs to be compromise in order to avert a government shutdown. There is not compromise at this point. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that 4 million federal workers could go without pay. That includes 2 million troops and also TSA workers, air traffic controllers. It's going to be another long day tomorrow. Democrats and Republicans have already left the Capitol, so I am heading home too. The government shuts down at midnight.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included. But now, with Jet2 Holidays, package holidays you can trust. ABTRA National Protected.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed.
That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
I'm one of those that gets real tired of political drama when it's not actually solving a problem. And this is such a crisis that I'm willing to say, okay, everyone, we have to do something about this. It shouldn't be something that we dangle the American people or military pay or all of these things. We shouldn't be dangling them back and forth. We have to fix it. What am I hearing from my constituents? It's great. We track all the calls that come into my office. About 60% of the calls coming in right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles. I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the ACA tax credits expire, they aren't going to be able to have health insurance. They're going to have to drop it. But I'm hearing from people on both sides, people already on the ACA and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums.
You know, there's a reporting that President Trump, as you know, recently called at least 2 senior Republicans to ask, and I'm quoting now from these reports, what's going on with Marjorie, end quote. Have you talked to the president about this issue personally? It's obviously so personal for you.
Well, you know, the president has my cell phone number, and he's called me many, many times. So if he wants...
recently? How recent?
I don't get into that kind of details, but he knows how to call me, and he can ask me himself.
When you say he's not getting good advice, though, you told Manu Raju, what specifically?
Well, I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. And I think that just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well. The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not.
Moments ago, the Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on her X account the announcement she's resigning.
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence. I'll be resigning from office, with my last day being January 5th, 2026.
Hey, Hannah. How do you say fuck around and find out in legalese?
Should any party engage in behavior that is willful, wanton, reckless, or otherwise unsavory, that party can expect to experience consequences that are proportionate to the aforementioned actions.
When they go low, you go to hell. You know what I mean? Like, you can go way lower, and you just wouldn't. That was not your jam.
No, I mean, there's another one. F.A.
FAFO?
Yeah.
Hey.
F.O.
Hey. Hey. You know I know.